Alteration is one of the 6 schools of magic in Morrowind. It allows the caster to change the world around themselves, which ensures that normal physical truths no longer hold. The power of alteration comes from the fact that the nature of its changes applies to everything. The Fourscore War took place in the first era of Tamriel and was centered around the border regions of Morrowind, with the armies of the Imperial Riemann dynasty facing the tribunal-led forces of the Dunmer, led by Vivek. The importance of the Alteration school of magic was illustrated in that war, when the mystics in the Imperial forces casted a spell of water-breathing on the entire army and sent them under Lake Coronati to take the city of Aldmeric in Morrowind. Typically, the spells in the Alteration school of magic boil down into the following types: shielding, creating objects, changing weights, water effects, actions on locks, and movement through the air. Breton and High Elf are the 2 races that receive a +5 bonus to their Alteration skill. During character creation, any one of the following classes will result in having Alteration as their major skill: Battle Mage, Healer, Mage, Nightblade, Sorcerer, Spellsward. If you create a custom class and choose Willpower as one of your favorite attributes and add Alteration as a major skill, then you can start with as much as 40 points in Alteration skill. This is assuming you are playing as a Breton or a High Elf. With a high Willpower rating, and if Alteration is a major skill, you can get 2 starting Alteration spells, Water Walking and Shield. Finally, the Ashlanders, the Mages Guild and House Telvanni include Alteration as one of their favored skills. I have created separate videos talking about individual spells in detail and showing demos on purchasing and operating them in Morrowind. Make sure you check those videos too. However, let's briefly learn about the Alteration spells in Morrowind. Burden and Feather spells enable you to increase or decrease an NPC's or your own carry capacity. Shield, Fire Shield, Frost Shield and Lightning Shield spells focus on increasing the player's armor, providing resistance to elemental damage and dealing damage to players when the spell is active. Swift Swim, Water Breathing and Water Walking are water-based spells that aid in underwater exploration. Open and Lock spells help mages to open or lock chests, doors, and containers. Jump, Slow Fall, and Levitate are spells that enable you to fly, jump, and not take fall damage. Theoretically, spells like Burden, Fire Shield, Frost Shield, and Lightning Shield can be used as offensive spells to deal damage. But it is not an effective strategy. Alteration really shines in defensive gameplay and to avoid fights. Here are some interesting examples. Using Jump and Slow Fall to travel vast distances while escaping foes. Using Levitation to access hidden areas in dungeons. Using the Lock spell to lock NPCs in a room, while you may loot a dungeon in peace. Casting a strong Burden spell to immobilize a target, which gives you time to move away from a tricky situation. Using those water spells to explore flooded sections of a dungeon without worrying about air. For any mage-focused player, increasing your Alteration skill entails using those Alteration spells. Simply cast any of the above spells to improve the skill. Morrowind notifies you whenever your Alteration skill has leveled up, by showing a message with a wonderful sound effect. Serene Relas is the master trainer of Alteration. For high-level players, she is the perfect person to level up Alteration. She can be found in her house in Tel Brenora, a town south of Molag Mar. For players starting up at low levels, you can avail of Alteration training by speaking to a Stirdelin at the Balmora Guild of Mages. Moraine Dren, also at the Balmora Guild of Mages, sells you a whole host of Alteration spells like Fire Shield, Ondusi's Open Door to open locks and doors, Water Breathing, and the most coveted spell in the early game, Levitation. When it comes to training, I don't personally spend a lot of money on trainers. I feel as you explore the map and work on quests, you will be forced to cast Alteration spells. This results in natural leveling. I prefer this approach than to actively seek out Alteration trainers and waste a bunch of money on skill training. Let's create a custom spell that will help you to self-train Alteration without spending a lot of money. Create a custom spell with a casting cost of 1. You will be able to cast it many times until your Magicka runs dry. This helps in increasing your Alteration skill. Once your Magicka expires, use some potions to restore Magicka and keep casting this spell. There are skill books that can be found that increase your alteration skill just by reading them. For example, here we are in Genesis, and we can find 2 alteration skill books at the Velothi Tower, Arv's Drelin. That was a discussion on the Alteration School of Magic. Alteration is my favorite school of magic in Morrowind. Levitation, jump, open, water breathing, and burden are some of the coolest magical effects in the game. This school of magic adds a lot of character and variety to any playthrough of Morrowind. Feel free to experiment with these alteration spells and write your thoughts on alteration in the comments. Until next time, may the divines watch over you.